we should talk about today's sponsor before going into our football topics. And we're sponsored today by Manscaped because, Dave, sometimes you get the solicited dick pic. You might be in a long-distance relationship. You might have to do it to keep the juices flowing. And you might be like Sammy from Blue Mountain State, where you do the elusive ball dick face shot all in one for your special lady out there. Maybe she likes it. But if you're doing that, Dave, you got to keep your balls smooth, right?
Yeah, you do.
You got to have them. You can't have fucking swamp nuts down there having all the little hairs. No one wants to see that. But yeah, as I said, support for MVP Sports Live today is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. And Dave, I say over 2 million men. We got some UK users, or some UK listeners, I should say. Manscaping now is overseas. It's overseas. You can get it in America, you can get it in Australia, you can get it in the UK. I used it myself. I have it right here. A little vib for you. Dave, the smoothest my balls have ever felt. Like, it is a weird feeling that I shaved my balls today, all natural, because I didn't fucking use the guard. I didn't realize I had a guard at first, and went ahead and went in. Dude, so smooth. It's like fucking bowling balls down there. I love them. Not the size of bowling balls, though. Maybe marbles is what I should go with. I don't know. Big balls, small balls. I don't know. I don't know what's the one to be cocky about, Dave, going into this. But basically, go to manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MVP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And use the code MVP. Your balls will definitely thank you, Dave, as mine have been thanking me all day long. But, Dave, let's get into the football news as Joshy McDaniels. We're talking about him again because, Dave, there's 2 head coaching jobs left out there. The Texans, who, let's be honest, there's Deshaun Watson news, and a lot of people right now are like, oh, man, the Jets are the team to get him. Like, they have the draft picks, the quarterback. And it's like, I was like, are we going to talk about Deshaun Watson again? We've already talked about him twice. There's really nothing new to talk about. So really, the only other job to talk about is the Philadelphia Eagles, who have not hired a head coach yet. Apparently, according to several different news sites, Adam Schefter tweeting this as well, Josh McDaniels is now the favorite to get the Eagles job and be the head coach. Dave, this is a kind of a candidate that is a little bit of controversy. Last year, interviewed for the Colts job, was offered the Colts job, and then many people in our Discord, in fact, have said that he ran with his tail tucked in between his legs. Hope those balls were smooth. Tucked them back into the Patriots, ran back to New England, and now he might be the coach of the Eagles. What are your thoughts on this? Is this the right move for the Eagles, or is this just them playing it safe to get a name so that the GM isn't fired and the owner isn't basically asked to sell the team?
I feel like he is still the right guy. And by the way, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago for the Colts.
You're right.
I had to double check that one. I was
right. Frank Wright has been there 2 years. My bad.
Yeah, so again, McDaniels is one of those intriguing names where he had a short stint with the Broncos. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone holds that against him. I think everyone knows offensively he is gifted, but maybe he shouldn't have been given so much power day one, or forced to be a coach for a quarterback who was terrible. Either way, if he gets this Eagles job, he won't have to deal with someone who is a terrible quarterback because he will have a good quarterback on that team. Yeah. But they obviously do need to replenish that team. They've got some assets. A lot of building to do. A lot of culture fixing to do there, though. Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing. If you want culture fixed, do you not look at New England? You go, okay, Matt Patricia miss, Bowles hit. It's you can kind of literally just keep going off of there. Of like, most of these guys have not succeeded as head coaches when they go elsewhere. But at the same time, I don't know that they've all had the same issue. I think that everybody kind of fails for their own problem. The one thing I will say is they all... Billy O'Brien was a miss. You got to say that is a fair point. I'm glad you brought that up, Eric.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Because the thing I'm thinking of is you brought up Denver, and I actually had this conversation, I can't remember who it was with, in the watch along because someone actually said like, oh, but he failed in Denver. And I was like, hold your tongue. The only way he failed was because John Elway, who was leading the team, was like, hey, we're going to draft this kid out of college. His name's Tim Tebow. You're forced with him. You got to make it work. Tim Tebow was not a good fucking NFL quarterback. Like, great college quarterback, bad NFL quarterback. You know, when you throw like this and defenses can anticipate your rotation, that's not a good thing.
Most quarterbacks don't have a rotation to throw a football forward.
They don't wind it up like a fucking like a wheel. So like there was that. There was also the controversy. I had to pull it up right here because I thought it was where basically the Broncos were going to make a trade with the Patriots that would have sent Jay Cutler to New England and would have sent Matt Castle to Denver. Would have been perfect for Josh McDaniels. He worked with Matt Castle. Matt Castle understands his offense. Instead, that gets scrapped. Jay Cutler is on his way to Chicago. So it's basically Kyle Orton and Tim Tebow are your options at quarterback. Like, the Broncos didn't set him up for success.
And they still got to the playoffs.
Yeah, they still got, and they beat the Steelers in that playoffs thanks to a miraculous throw by Tim Tebow before losing in the next round. I think they played the Patriots in that
I believe they got the
next
shit
round.
kicked out of them.
Yeah, they did get the shit kicked out of them. But like, that's the thing. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I will stand by it. I don't think he's as garbage as everyone thinks. Even if he is on the way out. I think Jalen Hurts. I think McDaniels could work with him. So, yes, I agree with Twitch chat. Like, is this the safe move? Yes, because obviously this is the front office of the Eagles saying, hey, we're going to try to save face. We're going to try to save our job. And, like, you bring up a good point. Is he going to fall under the Patricia or is he going to fall under the Brian Flores method of things?
Anything bad about him during his time at Denver, more so that he and Elway just clashed with ideals, which, as we know, the Eagles do have a former head coach who was just released this year. I'm sorry, separated because of a disagreement of, steps to take moving forward with this team. So you do have to wonder, like, hey, is this a situation where he will be micromanaged to death? He won't have the final say on everything that goes on with his team. That is what I'm wondering, because obviously that situation ended poorly, and we're all hearing stories about behind the scenes, who's the real guy calling the shots for this Eagles team. Oh, well, maybe they didn't want to go with Carson Wentz moving forward, and that was his final straw. Maybe it's like, hey, I like this Jalen Hurts kid. I think he gives us the best chance to win. And they're like, that's the wrong answer. So I don't know. I mean, I think McDaniels is a very smart offensive coordinator. I don't know if he is the right head coach, given the situation the Eagles are in and perhaps the control or lack thereof that he will have if he takes on this Eagles job.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that, yes, Carson Wentz wasn't good this year, but the thing I want to bring up about the Colts job that...
To be fair.
What? What'd you say?
They were missing offensive linemen.
They were missing offensive linemen. They got to figure out what to do with Zach Ertz. The other thing that, yet again... The retirement of Andrew Luck, shocking. When that happened, it's like, holy shit, did not expect Andrew Luck to retire. However, Andrew Luck coming into the year, because it was February of 2018 that McDaniels was announced as the coach of the Colts. Mark and I talked about it on the Onside Kick. And then the next week, it's like, boom, he's no longer the coach. Andrew Luck was coming back from an injury, or from that injury. It would have been his 2018 was his first full season back from not playing any games in 2017. And there's a part of me that goes into it of like, yet again, was there a little bit of cold feet there of like, well, Andrew Luck's coming off of this injury. If he doesn't pan out and that neck injury doesn't work, or neck or shoulder, I think it was a shoulder. I think Peyton was the neck. Where basically it's like if that injury doesn't work, I'm shit out of luck. I don't have a quarterback. And then I'm not going to be successful because who knows who my quarterback is going to be for that time. So maybe that played into it as well. I don't think there's any questions of that because, A, it's going to be impossible for the fucking Eagles to trade Carson Wentz. And 2, if they do, at least they have Jalen Hurts. I almost said Jalen Reagor. He's a wide receiver. Jalen Hurts at quarterback behind him. So there's options for McDaniels. It's just, does McDaniels think either of those quarterbacks are going to be successful in his system? Because the Eagles, like we mentioned, have things that they need to hit. They can, like in the draft, they can go wide receiver, defensive player. If they're stuck taking a quarterback there, that hurts them. It hurts them immensely.
Yep, I agree. The one thing I do have to ask is, do we think McDaniels is staying home because he has a promise from the GOAT that he will step away soon, and Josh McDaniels could take over the New England Patriots?
Do you even want that job right now? Like, that's a thing where it's like, without Tom Brady and how the fucking Patriots did this year, like, if you like the thing that was talked about, I think it was a couple days ago. Yeah,
you got a great rapport with Bob Kraft.
You've got
front office guys you're all comfortable with. You know the guys who are drafting.
Good point.
You got all that shit down. So, like, I mean, there's something to be said about comfort and just moving up in position. Now, I do know that there is a descendant.
Yeah,
I love the fact that the first time I heard about him was he was a descendant. I'm like, you mean his son? Like, you could just say his son is on the coaching staff.
Yeah,
like, we get it. The hoodie's got a kid, and he's a very interesting coach who could be maybe the successor. But yeah, it was something I want to toss out there and say, like, there's a reason he came back. I mean, I understand the reason why you mentioned for the Colts. The other thought in my mind had been he got the Godfather promise.
Like, that is interesting because, like, yet again, when it was the Colts, that was an interesting thing. I'm like, shit, if that's my job and I'm going to take over the Patriots, I want that job. But now that Tom's no longer there, this team, yes, was missing a lot on defense. We don't know. Like, I think that the Patriot job is less admired now without Tom Brady because the thing that people are now putting the, what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of image is basically, oh, well, Bill Belichick wasn't that good. It was Tom Brady because Tom Brady's going to the NFC Championship game. Bill Belichick's staying at home. There are people on Twitter that have said that.
A lot of games with no quarterback, no defense, and a shit roster.
Yeah.
I think that both these guys have proved what they've proved. I couldn't think of a more stacked team for fucking Tom Brady to go to. Where he got all his ring-chasing buddies together. So I want to hear shit about fucking Bill Belichick doesn't deserve.
Why is it always Florida, man? They always got to go to Florida to ring chase. Miami in the NBA, Tampa Bay in the NFL.
I mean, no state tax, and it's gorgeous 24/7, 365. Yeah. There's beaches, there's clubs, there's places to spend my money that I have millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, I'm gonna choose there.
Doesn't Tom Brady also have like a home in Tampa? Isn't that another reason, or has it in Florida?
There, I don't know if it was because he had gotten one place that was like Jeter's old place. I want to say.
Okay, you're right. Yeah,
but there wasn't enough room to throw the football around, so he had to find something else.
He had to not go there, but yeah, it's. I don't think it's the Godfather thing. For me, it's like, I believe more of like what I think it was Lombardi brought up on an old Hammer Don last week of it's almost like I think Josh McDaniels accepted the job with the Colts and then immediately thought, is this the perfect job for me? Like, and it's more of the elusive, like, the next job I go to has to be the perfect job. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, but that's the thing you do. When you take a head coaching job, you don't know if it's going to be the perfect job. You have to take that risk, though. There is risk when moving on in a place. I don't think he's got the Godfather treatment. I think it was more of the other side of, hey, I don't know if this is the right fit for me. I am comfortable here. I'm going to go back and have some success with the Patriots. But